Hi there and welcome to Apple World. Monique is back at it again, hauling Oprah, and this time she's uncovering Oprah and Diddy's Alle association with the homicide of Michael Jackson news. As of late broke that one of MJ's informers is taking steps to deliver misleading and harming data about Michael except if the bequest pays him a walloping $213 million, and presently fans are saying the explanation these informers feel so striking to request additional cash from MJ's bequest is on the grounds that Oprah platformed them furthermore. Co-marked their claims even. However, these claims were never demonstrated in court. As a matter of fact, even after a very long-term examination by the FBI, they actually couldn't track down anything implicating against Michael Jackson. Also, he was seen as not at real fault for all charges, dissimilar to a portion of Oprah's nearest companions. But then Oprah rushed to bounce on the temporary fad after MJ passed on, and gave his informers a stage to spread the lies now, with respect to Diddy's association. On the story is considerably more obscure, and it ends up that the controllers who were employed to be around MJ in his last days additionally worked for Diddy. This dark hole runs profound, and it associates over Diddy and the malevolence record mark executives that Michael battled against his entire life, and presently Monique has joined the talk to spill more on Oprah and Diddy's obscure ways and the way these two straightforwardly benefited from MJ's demise. There's a ton to unload here, so out we get into it. You all are sibling Michael Jackson, and to I'll express attempt to corrupt that man's inheritance, and he can't guard himself. Who does that currently? Recollect when Oprah Winfrey gave Michael Jackson's informers a stage in the wake of leaving Neverland, right? Well, these equivalent informers are back at it once more, and presently they're attempting to blackmail his bequest, as indicated by the Washington source. Michael Jackson's home as of late reached regulation implementation and recorded a mediation guarantee after one of the informers compromised them. The informer is currently requesting $230 million and has taken steps to deliver harming data about Michael if their requests aren't met, despite the fact that they've recently expressed for a really long time that Michael did nothing improper to them. So why do these informers still have the dauntlessness to attempt to benefit off of bogus cases a long time after Michael's demise? Well, as indicated by Mon, this is on the grounds that Oprah legitimized MJ's informers and totally double-crossed him. Now, to give you some setting, Michael was the person who helped support Oprah's vocation with a significant select meeting in Neverland back in 1993 about you all the time. Can you truly excuse in the event that you haven't gotten irate on the off chance that you haven't managed how you truly feel? I couldn't say whether you can go from having been manhandled to absolution. I do excuse there's such a lot of trash and such an excess of junk that is expounded on me that is so false, the total untruths. And those are a portion of the things I need to discuss the press has made up to such an extent. That's what dreadful, appalling stories know are totally horrifying. I know, totally shocking, thus distant from the truth, and has made me to understand that the more frequently an individual lies, the more times you hear an untruth. You start to accept it. This interview was a significant, defining moment in Oprah's vocation. It was seen by north of 60 million Americans also. It put Oprah on the map to crowds abroad. Well, Michael invited Oprah into his home, and she even had an opportunity to converse with his relatives, including his youngsters anyway. When HBO dropped the disputable narrative Leaving Neverland in 2019, Oprah burned through no time getting on board with that fleeting trend to drag Michael's name through the mud. She shot an exceptional cut called Oprah Wiry Presents After Neverland, where she sat down with Swim Robson and James Safechuck, the two men who charged Michael of awful wrongdoings. And I know individuals all around the world are going to be worked up and discussing whether or not Michael Jackson did these things or not. These two men are lying or not lying yet for me. The second rises above Michael Jackson. It is a lot greater than any one individual. This is a second in time. MJ's fans and family were insulted at Oprah's deception and Michael's bequest fireback, with the press discharge getting down on the narrative and helping everybody that both to remember those men had recently sworn, after swearing to tell the truth, that nothing at any point happened. Not a single one of us in this room were there at the time that these claims were made, so how might you say what they're talking about are lies? No, we weren't there, and no one was there except for, the realities are a freely available report. Would he affirm under all the various things that he said those are the realities? Aid and James both express women specific has conceded yes. I lied on the stand, yes, I lied after swearing. To tell the truth, yes, I deceived my folks, yes. I misled everybody I thought often about in light of the fact that I need to safeguard Michael. He didn't need to be the one in the most natural sounding way for him that hurt Michael Jackson. Do you not trust him at the point when he says that I don't trust him at the point when he says that since we know our sibling, Michael wouldn't do anything like that? And afterward, he holds on until later the death of Michael 10 years after the fact to emerge and express this, and he's there, still in court with their home, suing them for a huge number of dollars. Michael hasn't arrived to shield himself, so you think the main explanation they're doing it is on the grounds that Michael is at this point not here, and you don't buy that they needed to safeguard him. And that is, they never safeguarded anybody in any way. When Dan Reed, the head of Leaving Neverland, was barbecued about his uneven narrative, he demanded there was a lot of proof that Michael was liable. And he likewise asserted that the as-it-were reason MJ was never indicted was as a result of his costly legal counselors and his big name status. See, there's been a ton of hypothesis that Dan Reed was funded to make a narrative about MJ that would eclipse the Harvey Weinstein narrative Unapproachable that sent off that very year at the Sundance Film Celebration. And isn't it fascinating how Oprah rushed to stage MJ's informers? Yet she remained totally quiet on the narrative about her benefit companion Harvey. Meanwhile, numerous superstars came to Michael's protection, counting Corey Feldman and Aaron Carter, who both knew Michael as you youngsters, and you realize Corey has forever been vocal about the issue of PDF documents in the Hollywood, and he recently named some of the culprits anyway. Accordingly to Leaving Neverland, Corey excused the charges and called the narrative uneven and concerning the late pop star Aaron Carter had said MJ's informers were brimming with poop. Home Alone star Molly Coolin, who realized Michael's life as a youngster, likewise said he saw nothing unseemly and clarified that assuming anything had happened, he would have been the first to stand up. Could have not a great explanation to hold whatever back Molly said, and assuming I had something to shout out about, I would thoroughly do it. Yet no, I won't ever see anything. He sat idle, and afterward, Michael's biographer Mike Smallcombe came forward and uncovered a lot of errors in Leaving Neverland. For instance, James Safechuck guaranteed that Michael did something to him at Neverland's train station when he was 10. What's more, asserted that this occurred between 1988 out of 1992 anyway. The train station wasn't worked until 1994. Michael's previous head of safety, Bill Whitfield, too pummeled Robson and Safe Hurl and said he quickly understood these folks were surely lying about specific dates, which they said they had seen Mr. Jackson. However, Oprah couldn't have cared less about any of these realities. She guaranteed her justification behind doing the Leaving Neverland narrative exceptional was to reveal insight into the example of unseemly direct that occurs in Hollywood had a great deal of hateration. However, I likewise, when I originally saw that narrative, I understand that many individuals are going to get set off, will be set off by watching it, yes, and that a part of individuals won't figure out what the example is. Cues I had completed 217 shows attempting to get individuals to grasp that there's actually no need to focus on one individual, that it is about the example, it is about the enticement, and individuals call it attack. Yet there is a major luring that continues. Furthermore, the example of that alluring, and that was significant enough for me to take the hateration for. Yet, in the event that Oprah is so put resources into uncovering this example of enchantment in the business, why she didn't have any desire to do a unique with the casualties of her enormous companion Harvey Weinstein and discuss Harvey's example of enticement. Michael's loved ones additionally brought up this, and they called Oprah a charlatan for professing to Mike and about casualties while simply pursuing a thrilling story for her little so. During one digital recording appearance, Michael's niece Cognac Jackson and nephew Todd Jackson pummeled Oprah, and Taj blamed her of more than once taking advantage of the Jackson family for evaluations about it. Since I mean, Oprah was additionally the one that when my uncle passed, she needed the select meeting with my grandmother and the children, and she talked, I was there, and she was discussing how Michael was distort. Nobody perceived Michael, and we were attempting to get the genuine Michael, so I think in a sense Oprah will get out whatever Oprah needs to say to get the meeting, and she's done that to our family. Ordinarily Randy Jackson likewise brought up that Oprah saw no point in fact-checking the narrative prior to broadcasting it, and afterward TSH added that Oprah favored the narrative, giving validity to Robson. Furthermore, Safe tosses allegations before the public C got an opportunity to make up their own minds when that narrative was reported that it would have been broadcasted. It was circled back to Oprah's interview, so we knew that that meeting would have been going on with Oprah. Before we even saw the film she favored, it fundamentally said this is reality and you all go for it, and then, at that point, subscribe Apple World for more videos.